now, but it was a beautiful morning for a run. I know it's been a long time since I've made one of my update videos. Primary reason is I've been discouraged. So since I started over for the 1,412th time here in 2021, I lost 13 pounds and change, and then I put on 5. And then I've been battling to get that 5 back off. And my best guess is today I'm somewhere around 10 and change, which is nothing to sneeze at. But when you weigh 240 and change, you need to get down to 170 and change. It seems undaunting, or not whatever. It seems daunting. Undaunting would not be the correct use of that word. So I did a 5K this morning. My mile splits are coming down, and if you searched on Google for something and got a hit on this video, this isn't why you checked in, but just giving the update. I wanted to talk about emotional eating today, and this is more a journal for me, and to say it out loud. I process things out loud, so maybe this will encourage you and help you if you struggle with emotional eating or not. I haven't rehearsed this, I haven't thought it all through, haven't outlined it, but just hang with me for a second, because these are thoughts that I wrestle with a lot. The first reason that I eat more than I should is because I have a false sense of what full means physiologically. There is this, when I feel full is when I'm probably over full. I have this sense of I can't put anything else in my body, and I have a sweet taste in my mouth. And so that drives me to eat sweets after a meal, a proper meal, in order to have that fullness feeling, adding to that with sweets. One of the ways I can circumvent this is with a small cup of milk. That gives me both the feeling and the taste in my mouth, and I've been trying that recently. But my sugar instinct is too much. I'm too addicted to sugar. So when I lost my weight in 2015, 16, and 17, we went from 262 down to 178, and then stayed under 190 for 6 months or so. I kicked sugar. I kicked soda and sugar, and I started putting it back on when I started being able to indulge myself. I use the Zig Ziglar method, where he eats healthy throughout the week, but he indulges on the weekend with one decadent dessert, high quality, expensive dessert, and he uses that to motivate himself to look forward to it. I mean, obviously he's passed away now, but that was his philosophy. I did that, and I've been off of soda. I haven't had a soda since January 1st. I drank many on New Year's Eve, but January 1st, and since then I haven't had a soda. But that doesn't mean I haven't had sweets. So first reason I eat too much is have a false sense of fullness. The second reason is that I love sugar, and I haven't kicked sugar yet this time around. The third reason is to medicate. And I justify it. I'm not using drugs. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm not smoking cigarettes. I'm not cheating on my wife. I'm not using porn. I'm not medicating in the way that I feel would be harmful. Yes, overeating and way too much sugar is harmful. It's a slow version of killing oneself. My blood pressure is high. I was on the borderline for a while and didn't do anything about it. Now I'm taking blood pressure medication. We've had to double the dose a year in, and I still don't think it's working. I've got to get this weight off, and I've got to do that. The rest of my labs look good. I'm not in danger. My cholesterol, my blood sugar, all those things look good and are in the normal range. But the blood pressure has got to change. I've had the privilege of meeting some of my birth family in the last couple of years, and have learned some more about the birth father side of my health history. And so heart issues are something that's real, coming from that side of my DNA. So I really need to do that. But it's hard. In 2015, I did a lot of thinking about this, and I had a friend of mine who was trained to be a life coach, and he used me as a guinea pig. And so we talked for an hour every Saturday about things. We talked about this. We tried to come up with other ways to reward myself. When I eat sweets, typically I buy the cheap stuff because I don't have a lot of money. And I can eat it with sofa cushion money. I've joked that Little Debbie is my pusher. So, I could get a Coca-Cola light ice from McDonald's for $1.10, and I could hit the convenience store on the corner and get 1,000 calories of Little Debbie for another $1. So for less than $2.50, I could consume 1,500 calories in about 3 minutes and get a sugar high. It was cheap, it was easy, it tasted good, and I love Coca-Cola. I grew up in Atlanta and just love Coke. Anyway, where was I going with this? So we tried to find other ways for me to medicate. What was something big that I wanted to save for? Could I put $2 in change in an envelope, or transfer it to another bank account, or put it in a jar or something to build up for something I wanted, like to upgrade my phone, or to buy a musical instrument, or to, buy a car, or, what have you. While it would have had the double impact of not only rewarding myself with something other than sugar and fat, it would also begin to discipline me more in delayed gratification. I'm pretty good at delayed gratification, not great, especially when it comes to eating. And it was too hard. It would last a while, and then it would fail. I'm trying that right now. On top of my bookcase behind me, in my desk setup and my camera setup when I'm inside. Excuse me, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Is a big glass vase that I bought on purpose, and I put loose change in there often. Matter of fact, I found a nickel during my run today that I'm going to put in there, and this is my Boston Marathon fund. If you're new to watching my videos, I have a life goal, bucket list item of qualifying for the Boston Marathon on time, making it through the lottery, getting a slot in the Boston Marathon, continuing my training without injury, and setting a new PR while at the Boston Marathon when I run it. That's the full goal. I can just summarize by saying run the Boston Marathon, but you get my drift if you're a runner. And so that the jar, the vase, whatever you want to call it, on top of my bookcase is my Boston Marathon swag fund. Whatever is in that jar come the time when I actually go to Boston, which I hope will be April of 2023, maybe April of 2024. That'll be the money that I buy jackets and T-shirts and whatever, whatever I want to buy in the Boston Marathon store. And so that helps. That's a really long way off. There's a lot more to do with it. It hasn't curbed the eating, but I see it filling up. I mean, filling up, my gosh, it's probably like 11 inches tall, and I filled up half an inch, but at the very bottom, probably the most of an inch that there'll be anyway. But it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder that I need to be filling that instead of filling my stomach with junk. So a false sense of fullness physiologically, an addiction to sugar, and the need to medicate. Another reason I do it, I think, eat too much emotionally, what have you, is that there are other things I don't do and can't do when I'm in a social setting. For instance, we had a business dinner the other night. It was our first live get-together since the pandemic. where we all gather together. We used to do this once a month, and we haven't done it forever. Our whole staff was not able to come for a multitude of reasons. I have not. I don't believe there's anything wrong with enjoying an alcoholic beverage as an adult. I believe you can't drink to excess. I've never done that, but I don't know how to drink. I don't. Never really figured out what I like or don't like. It's expensive. Just never gotten there. Secondly, I don't drink coffee. I don't do the coffee thing. And so I have lots of friends or business associates or whatever who want to meet for coffee. Well, I don't drink coffee, and hot chocolate gives me a sugar rush, and it can be a gateway drug to other things. Tea, yeah, okay, but I can always eat. I can always, while everybody's enjoying their alcoholic beverage, I can get an appetizer at the table, or while everybody is drinking coffee or whatever, I can get a snack, and therefore I have something to pick up and set down like everybody else. I know it seems really weird, but it's one of the things I've identified for me. And again, this is a journal. I'm kind of hoping to encourage other people to identify why they eat too much. So I can't really think of anything else right now. I may put some more stuff in the comments later if I think of anything else, but I'm going to try not to do it today. I had to get up early this morning. We have a car in the shop. I had to get up early this morning to take my stepson to work so I could have his car so that we could accomplish the day. I've got my run in. It's early. I've got time to, which I don't always have time to stretch and hydrate really well after this run. That's one of the positive things that I'm trying to do. Oh, that's another thing I was going to talk about is I have a buddy, Nate Larkin, and he has a podcast called the Positive Sobriety Podcast. And what Nate has found in years and years and years of active addiction followed by years and years of sobriety is that the counting up of days of sobriety, the CHIP motif that a lot of the 12-step programs use, etc. All of those things are a sense of negative sobriety. In other words, they're helpful, and a lot of people find them useful. He didn't, but it's the I'm going to fail. I'm adding another day, but I'm counting the days that I haven't failed, as opposed to counting the days when you succeed. And so he talks about finding ways to be positively sober. And I think two of the main things I've got to do to be positively sober from a food standpoint are hydrating and stretching. I think both those things are the hydrating will not only be better for me physiologically, it'll hopefully give me a greater sense of fullness, and I'll be less likely to eat. And then the stretching, I feel stiff, I feel old, and when I feel old, slow, and ugly, because when I stand up from my desk chair, I have a hard time walking across the room because I worked out that morning and I didn't stretch and I'm stiff. I'm more likely to feel defeated and eat. So stream of consciousness, all sorts of things. Hope there was something valuable in there for you. I know this time was valuable for me to say these things. So thanks. Hope you have a great day, and hope that you're one day closer to your goals.